and the director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival. Looking forward to the screenings next week. It's our final event, Austin Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022. And we're going to be showing all kinds of films from comedy, dark comedy, romantic comedy, sketch comedy. We're even going to have some funny music videos and series episodes. Anything you can imagine that will make you laugh, mockumentary films, whatever it is, we're going to be screening it next week. About an 8-hour screening block. So come on down and enjoy those comedy films all day long. We're going to be talking to one of our directors today, Mark Kiefer, whose film Or the Whale has been nominated for the Best Picture Award. Congrats.
Thank you very much, and thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, good film, man. We like it. It's quirky. It's a throwback. It's a period piece. It's just got all kinds of elements to it. I don't want to give the synopsis, but please tell us what this film's about.
So, Or the Whale is a reference, of course, to the full title of Herman Melville's classic epic Moby Dick. It was published in 1851 in London under the title The Whale, and somehow a month later, when it was published by Harper's in New York, it became Moby Dick semicolon or comma the Whale. And this film is imagining the fictitious argument between Herman Melville and his publisher, James Harper, over what the American edition of the book should be called. We thought it was just a funny idea, sort of pulling that thread. How did that happen? It's such an awkward title. It sounds like it was created by committee and they couldn't agree. And so what did that argument look like? That's the gist of
it. Good stuff. So why write this story? What was the creative, fuel for this one?
So we shot the film on location on Nantucket Island, which of course is the home port of the Pequod in Moby Dick, and was in the 19th century kind of the whaling capital of the world. I live in Boston, and so I love to go to Nantucket during the summer when I can. And I was there, and I happened to be just sitting on a bench on Main Street, and I look up, and there's a restaurant on Main Street that has changed ownership over the winter. And the new name of the place is Or the Whale. And I got a kind of a chuckle out of that because I know that's so inside baseball. If you know where that comes from, it's a reference to Moby Dick. And even if you don't, it still kind of works because there's all kinds of whale references all over Nantucket. But then I got to thinking, well, knowing where that comes from and the full title of Moby Dick, like, well, isn't that kind of awkward and therefore funny? And that was kind of the genesis of it. It occurring to me, well, how did it get that title? And it's funny that I know what Or the Whale means, and let's play with that.
All right. During production, did you learn anything, through the experience of making this film?
Yeah, it was quite a challenge in a few respects, logistically for sure, because Nantucket is a little island that's 30 miles out to sea, and so we had to kind of bring everything with us. There's not a lot of resources there. On the other hand, we were able to take advantage of a tremendous resource, which was the theater workshop of Nantucket, and of course, the amazing historic architecture of the place. So the opening of the film we shot outside on Main Street in Nantucket, and you have basically a 19th century movie set built for you right in front of you. We shot the interiors on the stage at the theater workshop, and they were wonderful and helpful and donating their space. But one of the bigger challenges was creating the period interior, and all of the interior scenes. The sets are virtual, so they were kind of created in the computer, as it were. And a lot of what you see on the street, the period artifacts and so forth. There's an old carriage and so forth. That's all CG as well. So there were some significant but fun technical challenges in bringing this 19th century period piece to life.
All right. Interesting stuff. Well, very well done. It's not like any other film we have in the festival. There's the whole approach to it, and like I said, the timeliness of it and everything else. What else are you working on in the future?
Well, thanks for asking. We have just more or less wrapped production on our first feature film, which is called Pacific Coast, and it's about two brothers making a road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway from San Francisco to LA. They're going down just for the weekend to help their father move into a retirement community. And a number of the scenes in the film are also with sort of virtual sets. There's a bunch that takes place in a car. And so a lot of what we have done on this feature film was practiced or rehearsed or learned in making short films like Or the Whale. So that's our next big project, which is just about wrap production and now in the post-production phase, hopefully done by about the end of the year.
All right. Well, good stuff. Thank you for sharing all this with me. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Well, I'd just like to thank very much you and your team, the judges, the Austin Comedy Film Festival, for having our film, for watching our film, for accepting it, and for giving us a wonderful and humbling nomination for Best Picture. Look forward to seeing all the other great films at the festival, and just thank you for all that you do in this festival and all around the country. It's a tremendous benefit for us filmmakers and for indie film in general. So thank you all.
Thanks. We appreciate the kind words. And how can people get in touch with you if they want to?
So we have a website, markkiefercreative.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook under Mark Kiefer Creative. That's all one word. And Kiefer is Kief, like Frank, ER, Mark Kiefer Creative.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
Michael.
All
Thanks.
right.
Good to see you.